Stop running Google text ads if you have an e-commerce store. Here's the deal. Jeff Sauer here, and I'm going to tell you something very counterintuitive. Most people think that you should be running Google text ads and having a presence for your e-commerce store, but I'm here to tell you that if you're running Google text ads but not shopping ads, and you have a physical product business and you have a product feed, you are wasting your time going after text ads. You're probably not going to have a strong return on investment. You should reinvest that budget into Google shopping ads, and I'm here to tell you why. Google Ads Shopping Guide. In this video, we're going to answer the question, what are Google shopping ads? And I'm going to start out with a rhetorical question. You know when you search for a product on Google and you see a bunch of different listings and images and prices and stuff like that? For example, if I'm looking at Pez dispensers, you can see there are some results on the right-hand side that show you the price of what it's going to cost. And in fact, there's some Austrian Pez dispenser vending machine that costs $3,800. And there's also a completely unrelated product, a Rossetto carousel candy thing that costs $1,300. But in between, you can see there are Pez dispensers that are available for purchase from sites like Oriental Trading, eBay, Amazon.com, and other places. What you're seeing right there are Google shopping ads results. And what you may not know is that these are not your typical free organic listings or paid search listings. They're actually a little bit different. They perform completely differently, and they're a different ad unit or a different function of Google Ads, or of the whole Google ecosystem for that matter. And so it goes without saying that shopping ads are very special. But what exactly are shopping ads? Okay, so I'm going to tell you what they are, but I'm going to give you a little fair warning. Buzzword bingo coming up in 3, 2, 1. Shopping ads are laser-targeted advertisements that are destined to create win-win situations and synergies between advertisers and consumers using an automated Google matching algorithm and a simple bidding system. And not only that, but if you're a results-driven guru seeking to take up your ninja skills to the next level and be a rock star advertiser, learning shopping ads is a no-brainer. This is truly low-hanging fruit in the advertising industry. So are you ready to get your ducks in a row? Okay, I know. You're saying, okay, Jeff, you didn't really actually tell me anything there. You just threw out some buzzwords, and I promise it's going to get better. Welcome to the internet in 2020. People using lots of words and not really saying anything. Or maybe it's an algorithm trying to trick another algorithm by using these terms over and over again and saying lots of things without actually saying anything. Well, I'm doing it purely for entertainment value. And I will tell you this video is different than most of the crap out there because I'm actually going to give you some value, and I'm going to do it starting right now. So what are Google shopping ads? It's your frugal feed for shopping results. Okay, I'm not kidding. It really is your frugal feed. At least that's what it was called back in the day. So here's a quick little story about Google shopping ads. Back before it was called Google shopping ads, back when I was in college, sometime around 2002, 2003, I got really excited about this thing called Frugal. And basically Google would go out there and find all the different online e-commerce websites that were selling something and tell you which one was the cheapest. And once it broke out of beta, it became a pretty big feature inside Google Ads. Well, nowadays it's something that's more distinguished than just frugal, and it's actually something that's a permanent fixture and literal in Google search. And so if you're looking at Google search and you click on the shopping tab, this is your Google shopping ads that are displaying. These are basically opportunities to purchase products based on any number of filterable criteria that you might have. And so if you click on the shopping tab in Google search, you are seeing shopping ads. But it's not just in the shopping section. Rarely do you need to click anywhere in order to find shopping ads. In fact, most of the time when I see shopping ads, I see it right inside the Google homepage or right inside the Google search bar whenever I search for something. And this happens because Google finds these results useful. Anytime they find a commercial intent query, they syndicate these results pretty much everywhere. So for example, on the home screen, if I were to type in bleaching kits, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why somebody would type that in there, but I thought it would be a funny example to give, then they're going to give you shopping results, and it's implied that somebody's looking to buy or purchase a bleaching kit when they type in that search. And so you can tell pretty easily if Google thinks something is commercial, or if people are spending money on it or making money off of it, Google's going to have these shopping results front and center in a search results page. And so this is your opportunity to show up if you are trying to sell your product through Google, which I imagine if you have a product and you're trying to sell it, selling it through Google is something that you are welcome to the idea of doing. And the nice part about all this is that Google loves shopping ads and they give them a priority and precedent in their search results. But why is that? Well, let's look at Google's mission: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Well, if the information out there is that somebody's looking for a bleaching kit, Let's make it as accessible as possible and useful. So let's give them what they want. Let's give them the opportunity to purchase the product that they're looking for. And when you think about it, what's more useful than connecting shoppers and merchants? And I don't know about you, but I love the smell of commerce in the morning. Now I'm going to pause this for a second and just do a reality check. I think I've achieved professional nirvana there. I was able to take something from the movie Mallrats, which I watched in high school and I was obsessed with, and work it into some kind of professional conversation and use it in context to the point where it actually makes sense. There's no better quote than saying, I love the smell of commerce in the morning, for me to describe why Google likes shopping ads. So there you go. I've achieved full circle nirvana in my career. I'm mentioning stuff from my high school days in a video, and it does make sense in context. So beat that. And while you're trying to find a better example, I'll tell you this, you should love the smell of commerce too. Okay, so that's enough background. Let's talk about leveraging shopping ads in a way that's going to bring you more customers. In this video, I'm going to give you an in-depth look at getting started with Google Shopping ads. And we're going to do it with 5 parts. The first one is who should use Google Shopping ads. The second one is shopping ads versus traditional text ads on Google Ads. How much should you budget for shopping ads? Next, how shopping ads can simplify the promotion of your products on Google. And finally, what do you need to get started with shopping ads? So let's get right into it. First of all, who should use Google Shopping ads? Well, the answer is pretty straightforward. Anybody who has an e-commerce store should at least consider running Google Shopping ads. If you're selling physical products, then you definitely need to look into how do you feed that list of the physical products you sell into Google so you can get more exposure. So basically, anyone selling something online that's physical should strongly consider running shopping ads if you aren't already. And so here's an even easier way to look at it. If you sell a product that shows up in Google search results and has a product listing that doesn't include your product on it, you're not benefiting from having shopping ads, and you definitely benefit from having it. So for example, if your competitor is Kathy Cool Home and they have this cool bird on a wire statue that they're selling, and you have the same product or something that's similar to that, and you want to show up, you need to have that shopping ads set up in order to show up in these results here. So you need to have a product feed that you can feed into Google, and you need to start advertising on that term. Otherwise, they're going to get all the bird on a wire purchasers. And so the easy way to look at this is if somebody is searching for it, or if you do a search for your products and it displays shopping results, you're a good candidate for running shopping ads. Who else should use it? Any current search advertiser looking for an edge over their competition and a way to gain a stronger ROI. It's been proven many times over that there's a stronger ROI from shopping ads than there is from traditional text ads on Google. And I'll share more on that a little bit later in this video. If you're a market maker who wants to show your product among the big advertisers and retailers, I would highly recommend looking at a shopping feed. Now let's look at photography backpacks. I've purchased the one from Peak Design, the everyday backpack, the one that's listed right on here for $259.95. I purchased it off of Kickstarter, and I thought the only way I was going to be able to get that product was simply by being there for that limited time offer on Kickstarter. Well, it turns out that Peak Design is also savvy, and they're saying we want to corner the market for photography backpacks. We want to go after something a little bit more broad in general than just launching a Kickstarter. So let's make sure we have a feed, and we pay Google for the opportunity to show up whenever somebody searches for photography backpack. And so they're basically saying, hey, we're really good at this. We have this product that's awesome. We're going to be the ones that show up right beside everybody else in the search results. And as you can see here, there's some pretty big retailers that they're going against, they're competing against, and they're cornering the market by basically saying, hey, we're going to introduce our product into these shopping ads. We don't want to show up for everything. We don't want to show up for every single keyword search around backpacks. We want to corner the market around photography backpacks, and they achieve that through shopping ads. You should also consider shopping ads if your e-commerce software allows you to have an easy feed that you can create and distribute to the search engines like Google. Another reason is you want to level the playing field without getting too trapped into that Google auction game. You know that Google Ads is an auction-based system, so the race to the top can actually be a race to harm your bottom line. And so you may use shopping ads as a way to not participate in that rat race of an auction-based system for text ads. And probably the best reason of all is that if you see your competitors with the same product showing up in shopping ads results, you definitely need to start taking action and trying to show up for it as well. So for example, if you're selling creepy ants on Halloween, you need to make sure that your creepy ants are right there next to your competition. Otherwise, you don't exist when somebody's looking for it. Okay, next, what's the difference between a shopping ad and a text ad, or traditional what we call Google Ads or Google AdWords? And you may be asking yourself the question, well, it's already so much trouble to run these text ads. Why would I add something more to the mix? Let me give you an idea as to the key breakdowns between shopping ads and text ads and how shopping ads are different. Okay, so a text ad is limited by characters, there's no photos, it's a lot more difficult to really do much or differentiate much when you're talking about a text ad on traditional Google search results. However, if you're running a shopping ad, you're putting a feed out there with the price of the product, you're putting out there how many ratings you have, you're putting out there images of the product, and you're allowing yourself to have a lot more real estate to convince a potential buyer that you're the right place to buy from. Those buying signals really work well when you say, hey, we have the best price, we have the best reviews, and we're a trusted name. Works out really well compared to a text ad. You can't really say that in enough characters. There's just not enough space in text ads to say we are the best, we are awesome at what we do. Next, while keywords equal intent, and I'm a big fan of keywords equaling intent and being something that's really saying, hey, what are they looking to do? If they're searching for something, they're hopefully looking to buy, but they might be looking to do something else as well. So keywords equal intent, but it's not always commercial. And if you're not careful with the management of what keywords you're bidding on and having negative keywords and having the right account structure inside your text ads, you run the risk of spending a lot of money on ads that are not relevant. Well, when it comes to shopping ads, that feed is only showing up. It's only showing up in something that Google determines to be highly commercial. And so you know that if your feed is showing up, Google has already determined over the years that this is a commercial search. And so you can say with great certainty that you're only showing up when somebody's looking to shop, not when they're looking to browse. The next thing is that there's a law of diminishing returns when it comes to text ads, because if you race to the top, like I said, it actually ends up being a race to the hurting of your bottom line. And so if you want to race to the top with paying for an auction and you go into this bidding war, it can be something that really affects your return on ad spend. On the other hand, when you're doing shopping ads, your expenses are aligned with the results that are generated. It's a lot more closely tied to the results you get because you're not getting caught up nearly as much in that race to the bottom. And finally, with text ads, if you don't spend time managing them, it's going to be really difficult to get a positive return on ad spend. I've talked to thousands of advertisers who say Google Ads doesn't work, it's too expensive, blah, 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 blah. And almost every time it's because they don't want to put the time and effort into making it work. Well, you know what? Sometimes I don't want to put the time and effort into it either, and I don't see the return. And so instead of going after the text ads that have an auction system that can get really expensive, I go after shopping ads because shopping ads are proven to have a strong return on ad spend compared to search. And so here's some proof of that. You can see here there's a 26% higher conversion rate on a product listing or shopping ad versus a text ad. And also your cost per click is down 23%. And so you add those two things together and it can be a much stronger return on ad spend just by using shopping ads. And so if I were to say you can only do one or the other, and you're an e-commerce store and you have physical products that will trigger shopping ads, I think doing shopping ads is a no-brainer. Okay, so if it's a no-brainer, how much money should you spend on it? Let me show you our Google Ads e-commerce budget calculator, show you how it works. This is something you can download from datadrivenyou.com, and it will help you determine what your return on your investment is going to be, what your return on your ad spend is going to be if you advertise with shopping ads. Okay, so here we are in the calculator. As you can see here, we're looking at how much you're going to spend on Google Ads. Say that you want to spend $5,000 a month on Google Ads, and because you're using shopping ads, you're going to pay X dollars per click. Let's just say that it's 50 cents a click for shopping ads. That means we're going to get 10,000 people going to our site on this budget if we spend our entire budget. Let's say the conversion rate for a shopping ads campaign is 5%. Because they can see the price, they can see everything that's already in place before they even click, they have much higher intent than if they were just clicking on a text ad and they didn't know what the product looked like. They couldn't see your pricing. They couldn't see your ratings. They couldn't see those trust symbols. So as you can see here, we're looking at 500 purchasers and it's going to cost us $10 per conversion. Now let's say that our product is $20, right? We have a $20 product and we put it in there and 100% of our sales happen. That's pretty obvious. And then 10% of people return their product. So there's some kind of return rate in there. And our cost of product is about 25%. So it costs us 25% of the sale value, so $5 per sale to move forward. So as you can see here, our gross revenue on advertising is $20 per sale. And when our average cost is $18, that incorporates the agency fees you pay, that incorporates your 25% product cost, and also the money you pay to Google. You can see here our return on ad spend is 65%, and we're getting a return on investment of 12.5%. So we are making a little bit of money each time we do this. And of course, that doesn't include things like customer lifetime value. If you have a higher customer lifetime value and you know that the customer, once they buy once, they're likely to buy every month after that, your costs go down significantly. They go down from having to pay the agency fees, having to pay the money to Google, that $5,000. The next month, it goes to a 75% return on investment because all you have to pay is the product cost and then whatever marginal cost there is to send an email out. And so this is a no-brainer if you use this calculator and these numbers add up. Now you'd want to put in your own numbers. That's why I make this thing available to you. You can download it, put in your own numbers and see, is this going to make money? Is this something that's going to make money right away, doing what I've always been doing? Do I need to raise the price? Do I need to lower the price? How much money can I afford to pay with Google? This calculator lets you figure that out. And not only that, but we have some budget scenarios, which is another tab in this calculator spreadsheet. And that allows you to see what's the difference between spending $5,000, $10,000, even $15,000 per month on Google. And you can make these numbers say whatever you want to. And in fact, all you need to do here is you can say $25,000. And you can see what it would be like with a $25,000 budget. You can see here what the return on ad spend is. You can see what return on investment is. And so this tool will help you determine whether or not it's a good idea to advertise before you spend a single dollar on Google search. Next, I want to talk about how shopping ads can help you simplify advertising on Google. And I'm going to do this by talking about what shopping ads are not. Shopping ads are not any of these things. They are not based on text ads where you have to test multiple variations of an ad to see which one is the top performer. You don't need to do nearly as much testing, throwing money away on an ad that doesn't work because Google's basically creating the ad for you based on your shopping ads feed. It's not based on the same auction as text ads, which is very, very saturated. And because of that, because the costs are not as high, you can have a stronger ROI and presence by using shopping ads only and even forgetting about text ads or only cherry picking the shopping ads where you have the best return on your investment. Shopping ads are not showing up for every single search, only highly commercial searches as determined by Google. Google has way more data than you, way more data than me, and they know what commercial intent is because they've been running tests, and if somebody clicks on a shopping ad for a query, they keep it in there. If people don't click on the shopping ads for a query, then Google stops showing shopping ads because it's not making them any money, and they'll make more money from text ads. So they've already run these tests, their experiments are out there, and they know what commercial intent is based on the behavior of the trillions of searchers that go through Google every single year. Shopping ads are not nearly as complicated as text ads because there's not as many variables that you need to use in order to manage things. There's actually quite a few variables that you can use to control your costs and to get a strong return on investment with text ads. We're talking the ads that you test. We're talking your keywords, keyword match types, negative keywords, your bid strategy, your conversion tracking strategy. All those things factor into how much you spend on text ads. There's not nearly as much complexity when it comes to shopping ads, and this can be to your advantage if you're a busy e-commerce store owner and you don't want to deal with all the stuff and learning and understanding and keeping up to date with all the changes in the Google search system. Shopping ads are easier, means you spend less time, and you still get a stronger return on investment. So if you only had to pick one battle with Google search and Google ads, this would be it, shopping ads. And so to summarize, it's just simpler and more predictable to advertise with shopping ads than to do text ads if you're an e-commerce store owner with physical goods. And the best part, you're only one feed away from running live ads on Google Shopping. And we're going to close out by talking about that. What do you need to do to get started with shopping ads? Well, first of all, you need a Google Merchant Center account, which you can find at merchants.google.com. And if you don't have one right now, trust me when I say it's pretty easy to set up. The next thing you need is a product feed sending the products from your store. Now, I created a product feed in just a few minutes on my store that's on WooCommerce just by installing a plugin that had this. If you're on a store platform like Shopify or BigCommerce or any other major platforms that are out there, they have one-click ability for you to generate a product feed. And so it's very easy for you to create a product feed you can send into Merchant Center right from your e-commerce software, assuming you're using one of the major platforms or one that's modern and has that recognition of a Google Shopping feed. And of course, these feeds have been around all the way since I was using frugal.com back in 2003. And so you know what? If your e-commerce platform does not have a shopping feed built in or an option for a plugin, they are not a modern shopping cart software. That was over 15 years ago that I was doing this. And even then, shopping carts had the feeds built into it, the ones that were on the cutting edge. Next, you need to link your feed to Google Merchant Center, and you can do that pretty easily right inside Merchant Center. You want to verify that your feed upload worked, and if it's verified, it's going to start to tell you what products they see. And that's the next step. Verify that the feed works and look at it in this way and see what products got imported. So this is just a straight up import from My Data Driven, and as you can see here, Quite a few of our programs made it into here, and you can see what those things are priced at, and you can see how those things got pulled into the feed right here. After that, you want to link Merchant Center to Google Ads. You do this inside Merchant Center where you're requesting to link to a certain Google Ads account, and then you go into your Google Ads account and you handle and accept that request, and that way those two things are linked together. And then the final step is you set up your first shopping ads campaign. And this is easy as can be. You create a new campaign inside Google Ads, you say shopping, you hook it up to your Merchant Center feed. You've already done all that work where you're sharing the data between the two, and you're ready to go, you're ready to rock if you do it with this method. And that's it. You're ready to start running Google Shopping ads. And to summarize what we talked about inside this video, e-commerce store owners with physical goods need to pay attention to Google Shopping ads. You can easily stand out from the crowd by showing up on commercial searches. Jeff, I love the smell of commerce in the morning, and you should too. And if you haven't watched Mallrats in a few years or in 20 years like I have, go out and rent it. It's an awesome movie. Go out and watch Mallrats. Totally worth your time and effort. Getting started is pretty easy, especially when you use the resources that we provide you. And then finally, make sure you download our calculator and our checklist because these resources are invaluable for getting you started with Google Shopping ads. And so hopefully you enjoyed the step-by-step breakdown as to why you should be using Google Shopping ads yourself. And I look forward to hearing about your success with your shopping ads campaigns and how you finally cracked the Google code by going after high ROI activity in Google Ads.